We welcome you into another edition of HawksNest Pro. My name is Owen and I'll be your host. I'm joined today by Justin Trevelyan, Caleb Hoggard, and gentlemen, let's start it out with football. On Thursday night, the Packers defeated the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are no longer undefeated. Caleb, what did you kind of see from that game that led to the demise of the Cardinals?
I think definitely it came down to the last play. I mean, Kyler Murray was struggling, obviously, when it came to, miscues on throws. He still almost eclipsed 300 yards. But A.J. Green, the last play of the game, looked like his controller disconnected. He was just not aware of the situation at hand and just fell into the cornerback's hands. And I feel like that's just what ultimately led to the demise. The run game was there. James Conner and Chase Edmonds both have rushing touchdowns. But, I mean, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, they're just not a team you could sleep on. And especially whenever this team has so much momentum, now being 7-1, tied with the Arizona Cardinals. So I feel like this is just a miscue for them, and I feel like they're going to bounce back even better next week against the 49ers.
Yeah, you've seen this Packers team that really not a lot of their guys played during the preseason. And you saw in week one they came out and really got embarrassed by the Saints, but they've won 7 in a row now. So, like you said, this is not really a team that you can sleep on if you're a fan of the NFL or the NFC North. And, Justin, I'll kick it over to you for baseball. The World Series, the Braves and the Astros are tied at 1, and they are back in Atlanta tonight. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, you see the pitching matchup with two young guns, 24 and 23. You got Garcia and Anderson on the mounds tonight. And you got to think about Atlanta using much of their bullpen in the previous game. And if that's going to come back to hurt them tonight, you never know, who's going to have to come out of the bullpen and how are the Astros going to match up against whoever they bring in. I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty intense game.
Yeah, another thing I've kind of looked at here, noticing through the postseason, is that there's only been really 2 Astros games this whole postseason that have even been close. And for the rest of them, the other 10, when you look at it, it's like, okay, well, that game was won by the 3rd inning. Do you think we kind of see that again here tonight?
I think it's definitely a possibility if Altuve, Correa, and all those guys come out and bats blazing. It can get over pretty quick for Atlanta.
I think another thing we got to look at too is Charlie Morton in Game 1 was hit by a comebacker on the mound, and he finished that inning. He recorded 2 strikeouts, and I think he got Altuve to pop out. But when you look at it, he exited right after that, but he had a broken leg. So he's just one of the tough guys. I mean, to go out there, and I'm sure a little bit of that was based off of adrenaline, but when you look at that, to be able to record 3 more outs after you've broken your leg on a comebacker is absolutely unbelievable.
It's incredible.
And when it comes to hockey, there's 3 undefeated teams left. And Justin, I'll kind of kick it over to you. What do you kind of expect from some of these teams?
Well, I obviously don't expect them to finish with an undefeated season. There's far too many games for that. But, I mean, if you've come away this far undefeated, I would probably just expect them to maybe at least make the playoffs and make some noise in the playoffs if they can.
Yeah, you got both the Panthers and the Capitals that are still undefeated, and there's another team in there that I'm forgetting right now. But when you look at it, I mean, you get out to a hot start, it's kind of crucial to keep rolling, and you also kind of pad your lead in your division when it comes to it.
Right.
And this has been another episode of HawksNest Pro Edition. Join us again next week.